Good morning. It looks like I'm live. For some reason, my phone's acting up this morning. Hello. I will try and see if this will let me turn it. I'm not sure. Oh, nope, it does not want me to. It says I have to keep it this way. Well, good morning. Good morning, Thomas. I think I saw Joan a minute ago, but my phone was acting up. Today is tip 266, and I'm just going to talk about pets, health, and how it works well with our mind. Again, I know I'm narrow today, but for some reason my phone is not allowing me to turn sideways. It gets angry with me, so I just have to roll with it. I found an article, and it's called The Health and Mood Boosting Benefits of Pets. And it kind of interested me today. Good morning, good morning. And it interested me today because I realized there's a lot of either animal lovers or animal haters. And I thought, well, what is the benefit? And the reason it is of interest to me too is I don't currently, but about 2 to 3 years ago, I spent a period of my career in a health system. And they were actually doing studies where they were taking animals into the health system to try to help patients. And I thought, well, there is something to this. So I wanted to do a little research on it. And it talks about pets come with some powerful health benefits. And again, it's not for everyone, but I just wanted to know the research behind it. And it says that pets can actually help relieve depression, anxiety, lower stress, and improve your heart health. And I thought, wow, these are great benefits. I know it's not for everyone, but I just wanted to understand the reasons behind it. And it says that many of us remain unaware of the physical and the mental health benefits that can also accompany the pleasure of snuggling with a furry friend. Our animals tend to be acutely attuned to our behavior and our emotions, and they are very, very good at interpreting our tone of voice, our body language, and our gestures. And I'll say from my own experience, I know that's very true. It's kind of funny, but one time prior to having surgery, it's probably been 20 years, I had a surgery that I wasn't supposed to be alone for any period of time, so my mom happened to stay with me. And I was unable to move around a lot because it was abdominal. And one of my female cat kept whining and whining and whining for me. And generally that meant she wanted me to follow her into whatever room it was. But since I was fresh out of surgery, I couldn't follow her. So my mom was sitting on a recliner. I'm laying on the couch. And this cat is just whining for me. So finally I said, little girl, if you want me, you're going to have to come in here because I cannot come to you. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. And she jumps up with me. And my mom was like, I would never have believed that happened if I hadn't been sitting here to watch it. So even though she may not have understood the exact words, she understood that if she wanted me, she had to come to me. But I can remember my mom blown away by, I said that and immediately she came running to me. So animals are attuned to us. They know us over a period of time. I've even heard stories that, animals have helped people that were getting ready to be sick. I think someone has once told me that there's a smell to a body, and sometimes animals will recognize that. But it says any pet can improve your health. It can help you with stress, anxiety, depression, loneliness, encourages exercise. Dogs and cats are more for this. I'm going to say even dogs because I've tried to walk a cat. It doesn't work real well. They're playful and they improve cardiovascular health. They did talk about that you can choose different types of animals. We know dogs and cats, and we know that dogs are the greater one for walking. They did say that rabbits can be ideal, and I will say as a child we had a rabbit. My sister had a rabbit, and it was actually an animal that people through the neighborhood would come to see. They said birds can encourage social interaction. Even watching a fish can be a calming, stressing item. So they did a bunch of studies to find out what the benefits of pets are, and what they did find out is that pet owners are less likely to suffer from depression. They have lower blood pressure in stressful situations, and they have done studies that found when people were borderline hypertension and they had dogs from a shelter, their blood pressure declined significantly within 5 months. They also said that a dog or a cat or any other pet can increase the levels of serotonin and dopamine, which causes you to be calmer and relax, which is like that stress reliever. Pet owners have lower triglyceride and cholesterol levels, and heart attack patients with a pet tend to have survive longer than those without pets. They also say that if a person is 65 or older, they tend to have less visits to a doctor's office. One of the reasons for these therapeutic effects in pets is that they fulfill the human need for touch. They've even shown studies that prisoners are actually shown to have different behavioral impacts by being in contact with pets on a regular basis. So they were talking now about like the lifestyle changes. What are the lifestyle changes that they say a pet will provide to the owner? It increases exercise, it provides companionship, and it helps you to meet new people. And I will say that's very true. It reduces anxiety and it adds structure and routine to your day. And I'm going to say that's really true because I tend to walk every morning with my mom. And what we do find is if we walk at a certain time of the day, we get to see Mother Nature's animals, which is like the bunnies and any like little animal that might be wandering early in the morning. But if we get to a certain time of the morning, we see all the pet owners out walking their dogs. So it is true and it is socializing. And depending on the time of day we're walking, we're either greeting the bunnies or we're greeting the owners of animals. So over time you get to know people because you will see the same people. They do set up routines. And it's just like I joke that I get out of bed in the morning when my alarm goes off because I've trained my cats to know that it's time for a treat. It's probably the same thing with these dog owners. The dogs will start talking to you saying, hey, you know what? It's time to take me on my walk. So I think they're great for that. They do provide structure. They do provide routine. And then the last item they mention is they provide sensory stress relief. They help people to manage stress. And I think that's probably a great tool in this world because so many of us struggle with stress. So it says, get a dog and lose some weight. I guess your dog is a form of an accountability partner. You still need the humankind because they can't really talk to you about your goals and if you're making progress on them. But they can make sure you're getting out there to walk. So definitely give it a whirl if you're interested in the commitment because researchers have found that people with animals, with dogs, tend to walk for 20 minutes 5 days a week. And that increase in activity resulted in 14.4 pounds per year. Yeah, see, Thomas loves his 2 doggies. And it says that in many cases, people who ended up getting a pet. Well, good morning, Joan. I noticed you earlier, but my phone was acting up, so I missed you. But it did say that dogs will actually, they find that pet owners who just get a dog will increase their activity about 30 minutes because of those dog walks. So they also came through a section on this article about the benefits of pets for older adults. And it says that it gives those older adults a meaning in life. And I will say, my great aunt who lived into her 90s actually had a dog and she was extremely attached to the dog. And I want to say we lost her within a couple months after her dog passed away. And although we encouraged her to get another animal, she did not want another animal. But it was her companion for years and years and years. It was another member of her family since her family had grown and had children and she had great-grandchildren at that time. So it allowed her to stay connected. It allowed her to have a meaning and a joy in life. And it allowed her to boost her vitality. It provided her, and I can remember the stories because whenever I'd go visit her, she would always tell me, laughing and joking about the little antics of her dog. One of my aunts had Minnie Pearl, and I think this one was Mitzi. I'm trying to remember exactly. They were both M's. It was my aunt in Mississippi that had Minnie Pearl. And Minnie Pearl was just this 5-pound little dog, but the cutest little thing. So know that your animals, they are a commitment, but they are finding even with diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia, that dogs will help with stress and anxiety for these people, that it helps with outbursts of anxiety, it helps with aggressive behavior, and it helps the caregivers with stress and a place to provide ease when they're dealing with these kind of situations. They did do another part of this study, talked about the benefits for children, and it says pets are never critical and they don't give orders, so children really attach to them. They're ever present and they can tend to ease separation for children. And pets can make a child feel important. It helps children to build relationships. It helps to calm. Again, like the seniors, it helps with stress and anxiety. It also helps with children. And it also teaches children empathy and understanding. It can be for children and seniors a sense of calmness and relaxation, and a stimulation for the brain and for the mind. So playing with a pet can be a doorway to learning for a child, and it can stimulate imagination and curiosity. And they said that comes because a child gets really interested in maybe trying to train the dog. So they have to become resourceful and learning so that they can train the dog. We have dog pet therapy in my hospital weekly. See, Thomas is talking about that too. And when I was in the healthcare system here locally, and the healthcare system I worked for was in 22 states, they had implemented probably about 4 or 5 years ago the same type of idea, that they had a pet therapy that would come in. I don't know if it was once a week or once every 2 weeks, but they were doing studies and they found that it was very helpful to bring the pets in, especially for the long-term patients, so that it gave them that calmness and that release of anxiety. And it was very successful. So it is definitely something to think about. And I know my great aunt, who lived into her 90s, I think that her pet was a big part of it, because within a couple of months of the pet passing on, we lost her too. So knowing that the one thing they did want to stress in this article, that is, owning a pet is a major commitment. Pets cost money. Pets require time and attention. Now that may get you out there active, but they do require time and attention. They can curb some social activity, because if you do have like a dog, it will need to be let out. They can be destructive when they're in the learning phases. That's just like I know it's a different kind of destruction, but you have to know that as you teach them and learn, there is going to be a learning curve. They require a responsibility, and they do carry health risks for some people. Some diseases can be transmitted from cats and dogs to their human handlers, and that can relate to even allergies. So know that there are some responsibilities involved with a pet, but there may be some benefits that outweigh the responsibilities and costs if you're interested. And a lot of what it talked about is increasing your exercise and increasing your routine, because they require the same. I find with my cats, I give them a treat in the morning when the alarm goes off, so there is no passing on it. They will cry at the bedside till I give them that treat. So it's helped me to develop that routine of getting up early. For dog owners, it'll be getting you out for that walk. And it's also been proven, and I will agree with this, that it is a form of stress relief, and it calms you so that you can pull yourself back in. And studies are showing it does release serotonin and dopamine, which are the relaxing and calming hormones. So it might be something you want to keep in mind. And I wanted to look into it because I know there's two schools of thought. Some are really in love with animals, and some are like, I don't want the responsibility. And truly, if you don't want the responsibility, it is a long-term commitment. It is a 15-year commitment. If you want to benefit a little bit from it, maybe that is something that we'll have to look into. If hospitals are recognizing the pet-a-pet idea, then maybe that's going to be something that you can go visit somebody else's pet just for that calming, because it is a long-term commitment that you have to be ready to put in. But for me, I found that it's well worth it. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.